or Unit 5, Lesson 1, using the thermometer. So you should know how to read thermometers at this point. But we start at 0 and go up, and anything below 0 is in the negatives. So it says 3 numbers have been left off. What numbers go in the boxes? Okay, so here we have 20 degrees Celsius and then 30 degrees Celsius. So what would go halfway between 20 and 30? Okay, so if there's a 10 degrees difference, half of that would be 5. So it'd be 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, on the second box, it's between 15 and 5, and we know that each mark is 5 degrees, so that would be 10 degrees Celsius. On the third box, it's below 0, and it's more than -10, so halfway between 0 and -10. Each mark is 5 degrees, but we're going down, so it's going to be -5 degrees Celsius. Okay, and on number 2, it says, what temperature does the thermometer show? So we see that the thermometer is between 0 and -5, but it's a little bit closer to the 0 than it is the -5, so I would guess about -2 degrees Celsius. Okay, on the next section, so we have 4 thermometers. And it wants to know what temperature is shown on each thermometer. So on this first one, it's between 0 and 5, but we have marks now between each 5 degrees. And there's 4 marks, so that tells me that each little tick mark is worth 1 degree. So this temperature would be 1, 2, 3, 4 degrees Celsius. Thermometer 2, so it's less than 0, so I know it needs to be a negative number. And it's 3 marks away from 0, so that would be -3 degrees Celsius. On thermometer 3, it's past 5, but it's not quite to 6. Since there are no marks between each degree, I cannot estimate precisely, so I need to just estimate that it's between 5 and 6, so we'll just say 5.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, and then the fourth thermometer. Again, it's below 0, so I'm in the negatives. So I have -1 and then -2. So it's between -1 and -2. So that would be -1.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, it says which thermometer shows the highest temperature. So that would be the one highest above 0, which would be thermometer 3. Which thermometer shows the lowest temperature? So that's going to be the one closest to the bottom, which would be thermometer 2, -3 degrees Celsius. Suppose the temperature outside is -4 degrees Celsius. Is that colder or warmer than the coldest temperature shown? So our coldest temperature shown, we said, was thermometer 2, which would be -3 degrees Celsius. So is -4 degrees Celsius colder or warmer? It would be colder. -3 is greater than -4 because it's further up. Therefore, it would be colder than -3. On 1.3, we have a picture of some sea animals. And then we have our labels over here, which tells us its vertical position in meters. So we'll just start at the top. We have to determine how far above or below sea level for each animal. So first, let's do the seagull. Okay, and we're going to use the eyes as what we determine as its level. So it's way up here, really close to 10 meters, and it's above sea level. All right, the dolphin. its eyes are about right here. That's a little over halfway, so I would guess for it to be around 3 meters above sea level. Okay, then we have a penguin, which is right at the top of the water. So right here is our sea level. So this penguin is at sea level, so it's 0 meters, which means it's at sea level. Okay, shark. Again, it's a little over halfway, so I'm going to say 3 meters, but now it's below sea level. So 3 meters below sea level. So its vertical position would be -3 meters. A fish. It's not quite halfway between 5 and 10, so I would estimate for it to be around 7 meters below sea level, which would be -7 meters on its vertical position. And last, we have the octopus. Its eyes are right here, so we're going to say 10 meters below sea level, which will be -10 meters as its position. All right, number 2 says a mobula ray is 3 meters above the surface of the ocean, and we have to compare its vertical position to the height or depth of these 3 animals. So a mobula ray is 3 meters above sea level. So right here. So how does it compare to the dolphin that we said was 3 meters above sea level? Okay, so it's the same. It's at the same depth. Or we'll say same height because they're both above sea level. Okay, the seagull. So the mobula ray is at 3 meters above, and we have a seagull at 10 meters above. So if I'm at 3 meters, how much higher is the seagull than the mobula ray? It would be 7 meters. 7 meters below the seagull. Okay, the octopus. The octopus is down here at 10 meters below the sea level, and the mobula ray is 3 meters above. So just to get to sea level, I would have to go 10 meters and an additional 3 meters to get to the mobula ray. So that would be 13 meters above the octopus. On number 3, we have an albatross, which is at 5 meters above the surface of the ocean. Okay, so we are comparing it with the seagull again. Seagull is still at 10 meters, so we are now 5 meters below the seagull. And I skipped the dolphin. So let's compare it to the dolphin. The dolphin's at 3 meters and the albatross is at 5 meters, both above sea level. So that's a difference of 2 meters. So the albatross is 2 meters above the dolphin. And the octopus. So now we're 5 meters above sea level, and the octopus is 10 meters below sea level. So the albatross is 15 meters above the octopus. Number 4 says the clownfish is 2 meters below the surface of the ocean. So it's 2 meters below, so I would say it's about here. So it's at negative 2 meters. How does that compare to the dolphin? The dolphin is 3 meters above the sea level, and the clownfish is 2 meters below. So that means the clownfish is actually 5 meters below the dolphin. Now let's compare it with the seagull. The seagull is 10 meters above sea level. The albatross is 5 meters above sea level. So that tells me that the albatross is 5 meters below the seagull. Alright, now with the octopus. So the octopus is 10 meters below sea level, and the clownfish is 2 meters below sea level. So if I start at 2 meters below and I go all the way to 10, I have went 8 meters. So the albatross is 8 meters above the octopus. Alright, lesson 1 summary. So we can use positive numbers and negative numbers to represent temperature and elevation. Positive numbers indicate temperatures that are warmer than 0, and negative numbers indicate temperatures that are colder than 0. So if this thermometer says it's negative 1 degree Celsius, which means it's a negative number because it's colder than 0. It's to the left of 0. So on a number line, we go from negative 10 to positive 10. So if I pick a number, so let's say I pick negative 4. It says a number is always less than the numbers to its right. So negative 4 is less than everything this direction. And it's greater than everything this direction. So any number below negative 4 is smaller. Everything to the right is larger. Alright, and then absolute value, which we discussed a little bit on the last unit. So these vertical bars mean absolute value. So the absolute value just describes how far a number is from 0. So the numbers 15 and negative 15 are both 15 units from 0. So the absolute value of positive 15 is 15, and the absolute value of negative 15 is also 15. These numbers are opposites because they're on the opposite sides of 0, but the same distance from 0.